Season 19, episode 1, Janelle and Christine and Janelle's relationship with Cody. So in this episode, we really see the start of almost every storyline that we see through the rest of the season, at least through episode 20, which is what we've seen so far. And one of the funny things is Janelle is saying that Christine doesn't really believe that Janelle and Cody are broken up because they haven't had an official conversation. And what's funny is Janelle is right and Christine is right. So Janelle's like, I haven't seen him in months. We're done. And she's right. They're done. They're done. They're over. They never get back together. But what's funny is Janelle is correct, but Christine is also correct because Christine's like, have you had the conversation with him? And Janelle's like, I don't need to. And Janelle's right that she doesn't need to. But Christine also knows that Cody won't get it, and neither will Robin until Janelle says those magic words, because then we cut over to Cody and Cody's like, oh, I still think there's, maybe there's a chance for us to reconcile. And there's Robin going, are you sure? Did she really say that she's done? And so it's this interesting thing, which is Janelle is right. Her relationship is over. I mean, and I think it's over. And I think the public thought it was over. And everyone knew it was over because they had had this big fight at Christmas. And they had said, this is a year later, the start of this season is nearly a year later. I don't remember. I'm not even going to try to guess real timelines. But, they had a fight. She said, if you leave, we're done. And he left. She called him 30 minutes later and she said, I want you to pick up your stuff. We're done. He doesn't pick up his stuff. Eventually, she puts it into storage. But she has told him she's done. They do not speak for weeks and weeks and weeks. I believe it was 8 weeks. He does not call his daughter, Savannah, who was living with Janelle at the time, for Christmas. Does not invite her to second Christmas, which Truly and Isabel came to. Doesn't, as far as I can tell, when Janelle and Cody meet up 8 weeks later, I don't think Cody even remembers Savannah exists, because Janelle's like, you haven't called Savannah. And he's like, like he genuinely seems shocked. They meet up 8 weeks later, have not spoken. He gives her a half-hearted, hey, I'm sorry I used that tone. Can we make up? And she's like, no. I'm fine being separate. For me, that's all that's needed. I think for most reasonable human beings, it's all that's needed. They also meet up for her birthday where he's like, oh, it's like old times. And she's like, no, I'm happy being alone. This was filmed months later. And Janelle is saying, no, we're done. I haven't seen him in forever. I'm not talking about it. This was actually taken, the clip that this is taken from is when they're moving Isabel out, which is another storyline we see, which is that when Isabel needs to be moved out of Maddie's house, we see Janelle and Christine there helping their shared children move and make life changes. We also see at the end of the season. That's really interesting. The first episode we see Isabel moving from North Carolina to Utah. And at the end of the mid-season, so we see Janelle moving to North Carolina. So we see this nice bookend of this mini first half of the season that is echoed, which is that when things need to happen, these two moms come together to get it done. And Cody's complaining about, well, they had all this tension when they were both married to me. And it's like, yeah. That's extremely common. They were both married to you. You were a horrible polygamous husband. You worked them off of each other. You said you bounced from one house when there was conflict to the other. Yeah, of course there was problems. Guess what? They got rid of the common denominator in their fights, Cody. And now they can be friends because their common denominator are their children who they love versus Cody. It was a pain in the butt. So anyway, I'm continuing my review of the season. I haven't gotten very far, but I think after this first episode, we're going to be going a lot faster.